So guys, today as I said, जैसे कि मैंने बताया था कि हम लोग डिस्कस करने वाले हैं positioning, authority, leverage, right? These three terms, they are very different. They're very different. मतलब उन सबके कुछ बहुत ही unique definitions हैं. But what you need to understand is that they're also very similar. And if you are able to understand positioning, authority, leverage for yourself, for your business, there's no stopping you, right? This is what has helped me go from, charging 10, 15,000 rupees per customer to now charging anywhere between, 60, 75,000 to 1 lakh. This is, by the way, Indian clients. International clients we charge even higher. This is what has helped me build the software. This is what has helped me, uh, you know, bag gigs in Dubai. So I was in Dubai. I just come in today morning, right? The reason why people have been approaching me. I was for almost a month in Dubai, right? The reason I got those chances was because of the way I position myself, the leverage I have, and the authority that I've built, right? And one very important thing that you need to understand is that in business there are no hacks, right? There is no software. Even if you have an automation software which reaches out to 1,000 customers every single day, or 1,000 prospects, or 1,000 leads every single day, that is no guarantee to your success in your business. The only guarantee is that you yourself can push that needle forward for your business, right? So there are no hacks, there is only you. Now there is a book called Psycho Cybernetics, which I thoroughly recommend. You can take a screenshot of this, or you can just click a picture of this slide, right? So Psycho Cybernetics is one amazing book, and obviously Jesus Christ as well, right? So in both these books, there's one common thread, and there's one common concept called man becomes what a man thinketh. Abhi now this is a very interesting concept because if you remember, a week back, I had asked everybody, what is that one thing because of which you have not been able to grow your business, or what is the one thing you need to take your business or take your, life to the next level? And a lot of people did, gave a lot of answers. Somebody said do more courses. Somebody said do more outreach. Somebody said use more automation tools. Somebody said do some other offer, become good at sales. There were multiple answers, but the reality is that until and unless you feel, this is like a psychology concept, right? Until and unless you are convinced that you are, deserving of charging that amount, until and unless you feel that you're deserving of closing that client, of hiring that teammate, of conducting yourself in the way you conduct, you will never be able to grow, right? So what is important is what is talked about in this book. एक जो सबसे basic theme है उसकी वो ये है कि you need to first be very convinced. You need to visualize every day and understand who is it that you want to become, right? Or who is it that you want to be, right? uh, so what you can do is something which can help you in becoming that amazing person, becoming that person who charges high ticket, becoming that person who closes more deals. You can do the simple activity, especially if you feel imposter syndrome. A lot of people are newbies. They always come and ask me that, hey, I'm reaching out, I don't have any case studies, how do I close clients? Or I'm not able to charge high ticket, or Indian clients don't pay me that well. All of those are, bad mindsets. It is all about mindset, right? So what you can do is you can do the simple activity, especially if you're struggling with your mindset. Uh, just have a simple journal. So in that simple journal, right, what you need to do is you need to write in first person. Okay, it is very important to write in what format. I am dash dash dash, right? For example, I am deserving of charging X retainer. I am deserving of charging 1 lakh retainer. I am an extremely good salesperson. I hold myself and my team to the highest standards, right? I am extremely good at communication. You need to do this activity, right? At least for the next 30 to 60 days, especially if you're struggling with your mindset, especially if you're struggling with charging high ticket, especially if you feel a lack of confidence when you go on these sales calls, or if you feel that, your clients, exploit you. It is very important to fix your mindset first before you get into anything else, right? So do this activity, maintain a journal, write it in first person. ऐसे मत लिखो कि I can charge things, right? Yeah, I want to charge this type of retainer. You need to write in first person. I'm deserving of charging this amount of retainer. I have closed a 1 lakh deal already. It's a way of visualizing multiple things which will help you and propel you forward, right? So I hope this is clear. The first and the foremost thing, even before we get to the tactics and the strategies, is that you need to fix your mindset. Again, an amazing book that you can read is Cuba. You can also, if you are not really fond of reading, although I don't suggest this, but you can go through, YouTube videos. वहाँ पे you can go through free audiobooks. I'm sure if you write Psycho-Cybernetics audiobook on YouTube, you'll find it for free, right? Or if you go through the summaries, you'll find it for free. So go ahead and understand the concepts and make notes from this book, right? Now, I also discussed on the last call, so the people who joined in the last call, बहुत लोगों के माइंड में ये सवाल था कि यार लेवरेज क्या होता है, बहुत लोगों ने बहुत अलग टाइप के जवाब दिए, बट आई वांट टू एक्सप्लेन इट टू यू इन अ वेरी सिंपल, in a very simplistic manner, right? Leverage in general is just what is your input, and against that what is your output, right? I'm sure you will resonate with this. Right now, आपको ऐसे लग रहा होगा कि यार मैं इनपुट तो बहुत देता हूँ but उसका कुछ आउटपुट नहीं निकलता, right? That is essentially what your leverage is. If you're putting in a lot of input but you're not getting a huge amount of output, that means you don't have enough positioning, authority, leverage, right? Whereas a person who truly has leverage, वो छोटा input डालता है और उसको बहुत बड़ा output मिलता है, right? This is the fundamental basic of leverage. It can't be explained in a much simpler way. This is what is leverage, right? So what input are you giving? And in comparison to that, how big is your output, right? So now again, a lot of people gave multiple answers, and I liked a lot of them because they were, they can be put down into 3 or 4 simple points. So let's talk about the 3 or 4 main kinds of leverages which I personally feel are there, right? Number one is money. So guys, I want to quickly show you my calendar. Okay, I want to show you my Google Calendar. I'm sure you all of you guys use Google Calendar for your meetings and this and that, right? But I want to show you my calendar. A lot of people they struggle with what? A lot of people they struggle with booking calls, right? Like let me know in the chat section, right? If you get one sales call every 2 or 3 days, right? Or you don't get enough sales calls, right? You don't have enough volume of sales calls. Because I want to show you my calendar. Month on month, we get over at the minimum 100 sales calls booked. And even beyond that, actually more than half of the calls we actually delete. All of these are proper leads, right? But they don't even come under what we want to serve, right? They're not people who we want to serve. So we cancel those calls. So you can see my calendar. This is live in front of you. I have a completely jam-packed calendar, right? This is not even including the calls that I'm taking with you like right now. This is not including the software, the time I spent in building the software. This is not including the time that we, take out for doing podcasts. This is not representing the time that we take out to do our weekly calls for our clients. My calendar is jam packed, right? How am I able to do this? Because I have one major leverage right now, right? Because I have been into the space for the past 3 to 4 years. So the leverage I have is money. I use ads to get clients, right? I use ads to get meetings booked. So that is one major leverage because if you have a performance marketing agency or if you have some sort of an agency, if you're doing manual outreach, right, you will probably get a call every 2 or 3 days and you only get one call booked probably, right? Whereas in comparison to that, with me, I'm getting like 4 or 5 sales calls booked every single day. And beyond that, I'm just canceling most of the calls, whichever don't align with me, right? So money is a big leverage. So you need to understand how to make money work for you. Is there a way that you can use money to get access to some sort of a tool or some sort of a person or some sort of a information, right? Uh, right, which gives you that big leverage. So the input is small. You put in probably like 100 rupees and you get a client worth 30,000 rupees, which is what is happening with us, right? Fame. So as I discussed on the last call as well, the amount of all of you guys are here because you have seen me in social media, right? You have seen me on Instagram, you've seen me on YouTube, you have seen me on LinkedIn probably, and then you have joined this call. So fame is a big leverage because now I'm going to speak with you guys. There will be some sort of an energy or some sort of an exchange of value, right? So fame is a big leverage. So you need to understand how can you become more famous, right? And famous का ये मतलब नहीं है कि आपके वो 1 million followers हो, right? Fame can also be as simple as having a set of 100 super close or super dedicated, friends, right? That is also enough. Third is information. So access to the right kind of information, how you are on this call with me. If I would have told you that I run ads for my agency, probably nobody would have ever told you you can do this in India. Correct? If you agree with me, let me know in the chat section. Right? This is a leverage which nobody talks about, but I'm sharing this with you. right? So information is a big leverage. So finding the right kind of information that you spend like 30 minutes in a call like this, and uski comparison mein you get multiple clients, or you unlock this data or data set rather, right, which helps you propel your business forward, right? And number four is health. So any of you guys who are not into any sort of physical activity, you are homebound, you're chair bound, I would say you're going to lose your edge over time, right? Health is a big leverage. I have had teammates, I have had friends who are very good at what they do, but since they don't do any physical activity, since they don't keep up healthy, since they're not healthy, right? They fall ill, and because they fall ill, they go back a few months, right? 7 days, I'm sure you guys would agree. If you're sick for 2 or 3 days, you go back on work by almost a week or 2 weeks, right? So health is also a big leverage. If you spend 30 minutes a day working out, 15 minutes of meditation, it will help you, build that stamina to sit down on the chair, take these multiple sales calls, and you can just, imagine the other benefits of, having a healthy body and a healthy mind, right? So these are the four leverages, what I personally feel are, really super important. So you need to think about how can I use every bit of this, right? Now let's talk about the meat of the presentation, which is positioning and authority, right? And then before I give you my perspective, let's talk about the true definition of positioning and authority. Okay, if you do a Google search, this is what you will find. So, what is positioning? Positioning is the way you present yourself or the perception you create in someone's mind and authority, right? So, positioning is the way you present yourself or the perception you create in someone's mind, and authority is the power to influence someone because of one's recognized knowledge about something. So you joined this Discord group, or you joined this WhatsApp community because you see me as an authority figure, right? Authority is not a negative word. Authority is just somebody who probably knows a little bit more than you, right? It's not a power dynamic. So just understand for what it is, right? So positioning is the way you present yourself or the perception you create, and authority is the power to influence somebody because of one's recognized knowledge about something, right? Now, you can understand just by the definition how important both of these are, right? Because this can be the game changer for when you go on sales calls or when you're reaching out to people. If you have the correct positioning, if you're seen as an authority figure, automatically anybody would love to get on a call with you, and they'll also want to work with you, right? Now, one more thing, one question that I want to ask to you guys: what is common in both of these definitions? I want you to find the similarities between both these definitions, right? So I'm going to reshare this, and I'll give you 2 minutes to put in the chat section कि आप लोगों को क्या लगता है दोनों में क्या कॉमन है, इन दोनों डेफिनेशन में क्या चीज कॉमन है, right? So I'm just sharing my screen. Take a screenshot, click a picture if you want to, because it's going to be very important for you to understand these definitions anyhow. Think about it for a second. I'm going to turn on the timer, and I want you to put in what do you think is the common thing between both these definitions. Authenticity, okay, like a personality, okay, cool. So let me share my screen. I want to take you through what is it that is common between both of these. So positioning is the way you present yourself or the perception that you create. Authority is the power to influence someone because of one's recognized knowledge about something. By the way, guys, I think I was discussing this with Nitesh. Um, you guys definitely need to, bump up your vocabulary. We have made a section in the Discord where I want you to send voice notes, talk about your day, speak strictly in English because English is the language of business. You need to understand what is the meaning of perception, right? You need to understand what is the meaning of, influence. These words, although they sound simple, but unless and until you understand the true meaning of them, you will never be able to, take it to the next level, right? You'll never be able to increase and improve your on your English, which is the language of business, right? So what is common in both of these definitions is perception, right? It is the showcase. Right? So what are some things that you can do to create a powerful perception in the minds of your prospects and your competition? Again, in positioning is how you present yourself to the world. Authority is people recognize is the keyword here, recognizing you for some sort of a knowledge that you have. So it is in both these definitions, perception or the showcase is what is common in both the definitions, right? So what you need to do is you need to understand that how can you create a better perception in the minds of people. And to be honest, the simplest way to do it is putting out content, right? I have a couple of LinkedIn profiles open. We'll go through them. But if you haven't been posting content on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, any one channel you pick up, and I want you to put content, and I want you to put content, not simple chat GPT. Anybody can go to chat GPT and write things out, right? What I want you to do is use your unique experiences and use your own knowledge and put out things in your own words. For example, this can be an activity that you do, like you guys, all of you guys are on LinkedIn, right? What I want you to do is, from this presentation that we're taking today, I want you to create a post tomorrow. You can tag me. If you want to tag me, you can tag me that, hey, I was going through, I attended a quick session on this and we talked about perception. This is what I feel about it. And talk about your perspective on this whole presentation. See, nobody's right and nobody's wrong, right? Things are not black and white, things are in the gray area. You might not agree with me, and that is completely fine. But what is important is that you put out this type of content, you put out content, you give your perspective to people, because you need to understand that people are always watching you, right? If you're getting 2,000 impressions, 2,000 impressions, imagine that's bigger than a university. A full-fledged university also doesn't have 2,000 people. So that's an immense amount of people looking at what you say or what you have to say, right? So I want you to put your perspective, I want you to put your knowledge, your experiences out so that you can be seen as a figure of authority, and your positioning is better, right? You're positioned in a much better way because now people, if you're putting out good stuff, right, people will see you as an authority and you're more well positioned to even pitch to them, right? So this is all about, I would say, in general, positioning, authority, and leverage. If you have any questions, I want you to take a quick minute and put in any question that you have so far before I get into the 7-step method to scale up your business to the next level, and how can you put in all the three things together, to help you in that, right? Positioning, leverage, authority. How can you put it into a 7-step method? So if you have any questions so far, let me know in the comment section. Yeah, so open mysteries, bro. Like, what is your name? I would love to know your name and join with your name so that I can address you properly. So you're saying that your question is very right. So basically, becoming free while sharing our thoughts publicly, that's bang on, right? Share your thoughts, right? Be authentic. Being authentic is so important to be seen, so that the people's perception about you is formed very well, right? There is some perception that you have about me. There's some perception I have about, somebody else on the internet, right? So it's very important to create a perception, be authentic, be well positioned, try and showcase your, your knowledge also, so it positions you well, right? But be authentic, put out stuff. Does your way of speaking and talking affect authority building? It certainly does. That's why I said, if you aren't too fluent in English, I suggest there are multiple free tools on the internet, multiple free apps. Go and learn English. Speak to your friends in English. The Discord channel, send out voice notes on English. Nikhil and Nitesh and me, all the three of us, we will help you with that, right? We'll help you improve your business language. If you stutter, certainly it kills the sales call. You need to sound confident. You need to sound more authoritative than the other person to win the argument. How to position yourself as an expert, right? How do you build authority initially? So, how to position yourself as an expert? As I said, be authentic. Whatever your experiences are, put those out, right? Experiment with different kind of content pieces to be viewed as an authority. You can do case studies, you can do information posts, you can do your client testimonials, you can screenshot chats when you do a good job and if a client appreciates you. You can do all of these things to be viewed as an expert. How do you build authority initially? You can't really build authority randomly. It happens over time. It happens with more experience. But before authority comes positioning. So if you're positioned in a way that, hey, we are this kind of an agency, we are just learning, we are, finding our feet. But at the same time, we are also, super professional. That again can, help you. It can go in your favor. So you're not an authority figure, but you're positioned really well. So I'll just get back to the screen. And I want to talk about the 7-step method to put all of these things together and to actually help you in your business, right? Now, a lot of people don't talk about this. I have probably not, like, only out of the 100 YouTube videos you would have watched, right? Probably only one would have talked about this, that your whole funnel, or rather your whole business, is not as simple as sending out a message, getting on a sales call, and closing that call. It is actually a 7-step method. If you look at this pipe, right, let me just zoom on it a little bit and let me just put it here. You can see that this pipe has it's this whole pipe is consisted of like 7 different rods of sorts, right? This huge pipe is consisted of 7 mini pipes. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So you need to think about the whole funnel as this pipe. You only so let me know in the chat section, right? Do you think if we remove even one part of this whole long pipe, do you think water would be able to flow, or in our case, do you think money will be able to flow? If the money, if your client's prospect, if your prospect's money is here, and this is you receiving the money, right? If you take out even one pipe, do you think you will be able to uh, have that whole flow happen? So what do you do instead? So what is this 7-step method? What are the steps involved here? Right? So let's talk about that a little bit. Number one is profile optimization. So profile optimization, you can think about it as your website. You can think about it as your LinkedIn profile, your Instagram profile, anything, right? Basically, this is the first thing that somebody sees when they would, connect with you, or when they would see your message. They'll first go and check out your profile. So profile optimization is the first step. If you have a weak profile, nobody's going to take that conversation ahead. Your prospects will not even respond to you. They'll ghost you. Second is outreach messages. So how good are your message? How good are your outreach messages? Are you able to build authority with those messages? Can you be viewed as an expert with those messages? Because a lot of times, what problem happens, right, is people send these very generic messages that, hey, I saw that you have a website and I would love to get on a call with you. No, nobody would ever respond to that. So what kind of authority and what kind of positioning do you have with your outreach messages? That's number two. That's the second pipe here. Third is your portfolio. Because when you go on a sales call, or rather even before going on a sales call, right? When somebody books in a call with you, you need to showcase your portfolio. Why are you doing this? You're doing this to obviously have leverage over the other agencies. Plus, you're also being viewed as an expert, as an authority, right? And you're also positioning yourself as somebody who has worked with multiple people. So, portfolio is the third step. Fourth is pre-sales. So, what is pre-sales? Pre-sales is when somebody books in a call with you on Calendly or on Google Calendar or via just a normal text message. What do you do to nurture them before they even come on a sales call? For example, I have a call booked for tomorrow. What do I do to send out some things, right, which will make me being viewed as an authority? So pre-sales is an important step. I'll talk more about this. It'll be a separate conversation altogether. Second is sales. So pre-sales and comes sales. So what happens on the sales call? Do you have presentations? How are you conducting the sales calls? Do you ask enough questions? Are you able to answer all the questions properly? That is sales. Number six is post sales. Once you have already closed that call, now the time has come to probably send a proposal, or the time has come to follow up with them. How are you doing post sales? And then seven, once this client is closed, right? Especially if it is closed, if it's a closed client, how do you do your daily communication? What kind of system do you set up here to retain them for a long time? Because what's the point of getting a customer paying you 50,000 for just 1 month? I would rather have somebody pay me 20,000 for 12 months. So unless and until you don't have all of these 7 steps flowing seamlessly, you will never be able to get the money out of this pipe. So a quick assignment for all of you guys is that, again, I'm giving you one, quick 30 seconds. Take a photo, take a screenshot of this. I want you to come up with your own version of these 7 steps. What would you do in these 7 steps? How would you optimize your profile? How would you build your outreach messages? How would you go your portfolio? I want you to create a Google Doc and share it with me before the next week's call, which is on Saturday, which is this Saturday. I want all of you to share a document where you list out all the things you will do to improve on all these 7 steps. So this is an assignment for you. It's an important assignment, and this will solve most of your problems. What I also want to do right now, before I go on to the next step, let's quickly talk about, because next week, or rather on this Sunday, we're going to be talking about 3 main topics, Number one, how to build an amazing profile or profile optimization. What are the best kind of outreach messages? I'm going to give you templates for outreach messages. How to build an like an impressive portfolio. What should be there in a portfolio or in a case study that you share across with people, and what kind of proof of work. So that's again like a portfolio that you create, right? So this Sunday is going to be a extremely important masterclass talking about these things, right? At least talking about the first three steps here. I also want to quickly review a couple of profiles. I want to talk about what is it that you can do better with your LinkedIn profiles. And if you hadn't shared your LinkedIn profile before the call, it's okay. You can just take and understand from these references. Let's talk from Devansh's profile. So this is Devansh's profile, a photo which is very casual, right? This will not work because you need to understand that LinkedIn is a professional platform. I will never view you as an authority figure if you put up a selfie, right? Look at my photo in comparison. This is your photo. This is my photo, right? It looks certainly more professional. You have no background. So if I come to this profile, right, instantly I'm not leveraging this piece of real estate. On Canva, if you go on Canva and if you write LinkedIn banner, you will automatically get multiple templates. You just have to change it. It will take you 5 minutes. So you better do that. So whatever you're offering is, go and change it in the background. Write a better profile, right? There are no posts here. You have just, okay, you have been starting posting some posts, but this is like a chat GPT post, right? Because there are too many emojis, too many things, right? This will not work. Let's talk about Partha's profile a little bit better, right? So you have a very simple digital marketer, not really specific. You need to be more specific as to what is it that you do exactly. Is it paid media? Is it something else that you do? Right? Like this pipe and the spacing is not correct. You need to make it super professional. You aren't connected with a lot of people. You haven't been posting a lot. So this looks like a dead profile. So if you're reaching out to some prospect, right, they will never trust you, right? So that's very important. You can see here, like you can see some other examples such as Akshaya, right? This girl here, she has written that D2C revenue growth $12,000 to 100K. So this is more palatable. People will relate to this more, right? So you need to think about it in that regard. Then we have Nilanshu's profile, again, a little bit better than the previous one. Passionate about tech and startups, experience with web development, exploring Web3. Again, not too specific. Nobody really cares about what you're passionate about. If you're a web developer, for example, just write that, right? Like don't beat around the bush. Abhishek has a good profile. I think he has designed it better. But what I would say is like you can make it more dynamic. Both of these pictures are the same. You can use it better. You can put in probably you working on a laptop or some other picture. This is much more easy to understand. I'm sure you guys would be resonating. I design website with strategic branding. I understand that okay, Abhishek is designing websites, right, for coaches and solopreneurs in 30 days, which is amazing. So it's super clear. If I'm a coach or a solopreneur, I would come and I would say that, hey, Abhishek, let's chat. Because it's super clear that what does Abhishek do? And this also makes me view him as an authority figure because he's super specific about this and he's also positioned really well, right? So all of these things play in his favor, right? He has a couple of profiles here, so all of these things work in his favor. Tarjani's profile, Tarjani has been really active. Again, DM, that's good. People will know growth hacking strategies, advertising. Again, this can be a little bit more specific as to what is it that you do specifically, right? Picture is good. Again, there can be a little more, what would you say, difference between these colors. So it will be more, it'll pop out more. But she has been posting content that has been working really well for her and things like that, right? So profile optimization, guys, is super crucial. So work on that. Again, your assignment is first of all your perspective on all of these 7 steps plus a profile optimization, and then obviously these 3 things we will discuss on this week's Sunday's call. So do come with your notes, do come with your questions and all, right? So finally, this comes to the end of the presentation. I want for you guys to ask me any questions that you have with the session, and let me know how you like the session first, and then go ahead and give me any question that you have. Yeah. And if you want me to review your profile and send notes on your LinkedIn profile, Instagram profile, anything else that you're working on, just put that thing on Discord. I'll share some views there. I'll share some notes. I'll share some audio notes, voice notes. Any better platform to learn more than YouTube? I personally feel that I think all of you guys have learned enough. I would say stop watching YouTube videos, get down to execution. You know already what you're up against. There are people like me, and I would say I'm still a small fish who get over hundreds of calls every day. And then you think that, hey, why am I not getting calls booked? Why are people not responding to me? Because they're busy taking calls with other people, right? So Put away YouTube, get down to execution. What is the best outreach message? We'll discuss this on this week's call. But anything that can build authority. And another secret to outreach messages is that you need to have a 6 to 8 part outreach message. What that means is just sending one message will not cut it out for you. You need to follow up at least 8 to 10 times. So that's one thing. How to avoid laziness? So this question is exactly the reason why I started off with psycho-cybernetics. Do you think a millionaire thinks about laziness? Do you think a millionaire or a billionaire is lazy? No. So if you want to become a millionaire, first internalize it that, hey, I want to become this person who earns 10 lakhs per month. Then automatically your brain will think that, okay, if I'm a person who wants to get to 10 lakhs per month, what would a person who makes 10 lakhs per month actually do? Does he wake up early? Does he eat well? Does he have a good team? Is he very careful with his time? Does he waste time on YouTube, Netflix? What is it that he does? So automatically, first become the person. Think, visualize who do you want to be. If you want to be a person who earns 10 lakhs per month, automatically that person is not going to be lazy. Can we do sales call trainings on the server? Go ahead. Nitesh is there. There are other people you can do calls. You can take sales calls with each other. Whoever is up for it, guys, please ping Nirbakar and actually make a separate channel only for sales, right? You guys can work with each other, go on calls, speak to each other in English, show each other your presentations, right? And honestly, guys, even if you're in the same space, if you both are into, say, Facebook ads, for example, you really aren't each other's competitors. Feel free to talk to each other. Why? Because end of the day, as I said, if you're authentic, your positioning, your authority, your things will be completely different from what anybody else does. So don't worry about this. Get on sales calls with each other, get on calls with each other, and discuss it. What is an ideal outreach message? An ideal outreach message is actually not one message, it is 8 to 10 messages. So you need to be really irritating, I know, but that is the way you get a call book. How to start up your LinkedIn profile when you have not decided on a particular niche? Again, who do you visualize yourself to be? Is it some, like, if you want to get into freelancing, what kind of freelancer do you want to be? Right? What kind of goals do you have? Who do you want to serve? Once you have that clarity, once you have visualized yourself being in that place, in that space, right? Automatically things will fall into place. So visualize, sit down with a pen and paper. Think about who is it that you want to be, who is it that you want to become. Again, another question: how to stay more productive? That's a bad question. If you are somebody who wants to make 10 lakhs per month, you will automatically be productive, right? So you will do anything that it takes to hit that next client. You'll do anything that it takes to get on a sales call. You'll do anything that it takes to charge higher. So it's all about your psychology. I know it sounds very general, but if you truly understand this concept, is when things will change. Again, consistency is what a machine does. Is it really possible to stay consistent daily? Yeah, it is. I'm not sure about you guys, but we have been building a software company. We have been putting out content every single day. We have been working on the Discord. I've been managing my agency. I was in Dubai working with a Web3 company. How did this happen? How have I been staying consistent? Because I view myself as this one person, at this particular income level who wants to go to this income level, who wants this kind of a following, who wants to create this kind of an impact. And once I have that in my mind, it does take time to truly internalize it. But once I have it in my mind, automatically my actions follow. So these questions, productivity, consistency, how do I work harder, right? None of them really matter. So as Sidesh is saying, right, just focus on the input. So what is your leverage? What input are you giving and how good of an output are you getting, right? So think about that. So thank you so much, guys, for joining in. It was an amazing session. As I said, this Sunday is going to be an even, it's going to be more practical. Today was more so about mindset and other things, but this week's session will be mostly being headed by Nikhil. Nikhil will be taking the session about profile optimization and a bunch of other things, right? So come with your questions, come with your notes, do the assignments. Again, we'll share it on the group. There'll be a video about this on YouTube, which you can go and refer. If you have friends who are struggling, if you have friends who want to take it to the next level, you think that this is, valuable, get them on the call. The more people there are in, the better it's going to be, right? I'm very into the market, good cybersecurity product, want to dominate B2B SaaS market. There, yeah. That's interesting, man. You can ping me separately. I don't know if you have my WhatsApp. Let's have to SaaS. We can discuss this, what you're doing there. And I would say that the only way to, if you have already built the product, LinkedIn is the best space. Again, be seen as an authority in the cybersecurity space. If you're seen as an authority in the cybersecurity space, who will not reach out to you? As simple as that. Be positioned as the go-to guy for cybersecurity. you'll get inbound leads for your session, for your product, right? So guys, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for taking out the time on this, Monday evening. And I look forward to seeing you guys. Couple of assignments, as I said, think about that flow, that 7-day flow. If you like the session, you want to give your perspective, tag me on LinkedIn, put up the message there, put in the Discord channel, get more people to come in, right? Profile optimization, keep your profiles ready, send your profiles across to me on Discord. I'll review them, or Nitesh will review them and give your insights, right? And looking forward to the call this weekend. Thank you so much, guys, and speak to you soon. Bye bye.